Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
Minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Tuesday morning. I want to tell you a story. Right across the street from the Paddock Mall. Before the Paddock Mall was built, I went to college over there at that little school. And one day I was walking through the breezeway, and there was a sign that said there would be a hypnotist on the stage over in the auditorium at like 6 p.m. or something like that, okay? And the date was that date, and the time was that time. I said, holy cow, that's right now. And I'm standing right outside that door. I'm going in. I want to see a hypnotist. I had never seen a hypnotist other than on TV. Okay. Now, I'm in a room. This is the first time in my life that I've ever seen this, with people I know. I didn't know everybody in the school, but I mean, you know people just by seeing them in the hallways, you know what I mean, right? And so I knew they weren't plants. So he invites 12 people up. I remember it very clearly. He invites 12 people up on the stage. He gets all 12 people, the chairs that they sit in, all 12 people had to be moved to different chairs. And I thought, this is the way he starts. He starts being the one in control by letting them know, I want you to sit here. So I'm trying to figure out how a guy hypnotizes people. And then he chooses 2 people because he doesn't think they'll be good subjects, and he dismisses them and they go back to their seats. Now there are 10 people up there, people I have seen walking in the halls. And he hypnotizes them. And he puts them in through what the typical hypnosis show is. One person was a drill sergeant, and she acted like one. One person was Tarzan looking for Jane, and he acted like he was. And then at the whole thing, he said, they go back to your seats, and at the end of the show, when I say Central Florida Community College, I want you to passionately kiss the person to your left, whether you know them or not. And of course, that was a funny moment at the very, very end of the show when that post-hypnotic suggestion, is that what you call that? Whatever, happened. Okay. But my favorite part of the whole thing was when he gave his little lecture after the demonstration. And he said something very interesting. He said, we can all do this to ourselves and not just as like a parlor trick. He kind of made fun of his own act, but used the act to get our attention, okay? I was reading about our next guest and invited him to come on. His name is Dr. William Matta. He has written a book that will explain this. And all these years later, I still never really understood it. So that's kind of my point. So Dr. Matta is recognized by Psychology Today magazine as one of America's best therapists. He's a college professor himself, a consultant to school districts and various organizations, and his book is called The Solution, a blueprint for change and happiness, and it does incorporate hypnosis. I have so many questions, and I took too long. Good morning, Dr. Matta. Thank you for agreeing to come on our show today.
Good morning, sir. Appreciate being on your show. I look forward to it.
It's been so long since I invited you. I can't remember where you are. Where do you live?
In near Philadelphia in South Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Not too far from Atlantic City.
Okay. The act that I watched, I mean, that's a real thing. These people really get hypnotized, right?
That's correct. When you see these people do strange things under hypnosis, they're not faking. But there's a lot of misconceptions about hypnosis, which I'll get into, and there's a lot of benefits of it also.
So the one question we all had was, could you tell them to do something that would be against their morals or their ethic?
No, you wouldn't do anything that's against your morals or ethics. The subconscious mind really protects us. And a good example of the subconscious mind working would be, you don't fall out of bed while you're asleep. It really protects.
Right.
Yeah. There's many misconceptions. It has nothing to do with sleep. You hear things loud and clear, totally in control, and there's really 2 components. The first part is everyone is hypnotized every day. When you focus your attention on something, like you're driving along, landmarks are passing by, you're in a hypnotic state. When you focus your attention on a book, you're in a hypnotic state. The second part is, and this is the interesting part, 35% of the population is suggestible. And I'll demonstrate that on here in a little while.
You will. So that's not very many. I mean, only 35% of us can be hypnotized?
No, everyone can be hypnotized. But 35% under hypnosis, when you tell them to do certain things, like I would say, under hypnosis, I would say to them, when I clap my hand, you'll become stuck to the chair. And after I clap it again, you'll wake up. 35% will tend to follow through on post-hypnotic suggestions. Well, everybody can be hypnotized, but these people are better candidates. But you saw that hypnotist was picking out people who were suggestible, and he tended to follow through on.
And he knew somehow who were and who weren't, huh?
Yeah, and I'm gonna demonstrate that in a little while to your audience.
Okay.
So, but you can't be driving or anything like that.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, your book, will the book help me lose weight? Will it help me be, I guess, wake up at a better time naturally or something? Will it help me in things that we want help with?
I wrote the book because I've been in a private practice. I'm a licensed professional therapist for 23 years, and I do a lot of work with depression, anxiety, even panic attacks. And I often supplement therapy with books, other books. And I found them to be like too technical or too boring. This book will help people. People want to reach happiness, but we tend to resist change and sometimes become stuck in a state of stress, anxiety, or depression. And this helps you get through that. And meditation is also, I'll get into in a little while, is a great aid for emotionally resetting ourselves, acting and not reacting, that kind of thing.
Are people on the defensive when they come to see you and they know that they want to be treated with hypnosis? Do they try to fight it?
After I explain it to them, I use it as a part of about every case, not every case, but it's great for stress, it's great for anxiety. If you're suggestible, these people stop smoking. It's good for irritable bowel syndrome, weight loss, especially if you're suggestible, then you tend to follow through and you lose the weight, you stop smoking, that kind of thing.
Really? So the same person who would stick to the chair is a better candidate for using hypnosis to quit smoking?
That's correct. That's correct.
But that's disappointing because that's only 35% of us. So the others
in that area. But what I also find interesting, and this is going to be my third book, and I'm not sure why. People that have panic attacks, people that have anxiety, probably wouldn't have those problems if they weren't suggestible. So you can use hypnosis to counteract those dysfunctions. And also, what I'm finding, I do a lot of work with ADD. I see a number of students, school systems, and every ADD person that I've met is suggestible. And that's funny because the problem with ADD is you get distracted.
Yeah, really.
I have an idea why.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question based on when you watch political candidates, and this stems back to that hypnotist I saw 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
He was the hypnotist I saw 40 years ago was dressed in a nice suit. And one of the things he said when he was giving the lecture part of this presentation was, had I walked out here looking like a janitor, you would never have believed that I could hypnotize you, and you probably wouldn't have been hypnotized. But I came out here looking the way you expect a hypnotist to look, and that helped me. So in that same way, do we vote for people because they look like somebody who would be a president or a congressman, or does that apply there too?
I would definitely think so. They look the part. You wouldn't vote for somebody that's dressed as a janitor as president. Yeah, that's because.
So you couldn't hypnotize somebody if the audience didn't believe that you were a hypnotist.
Interesting. People say to me, I don't think I can be hypnotized. And I don't think it's a matter of thinking you can be. They still, if you fight it, let me go back a little bit. All hypnosis really is self-hypnosis. I really can't hypnotize anybody. I just set the stage where they're focusing. In the office, I have a wheel. You focus on that wheel for 10 seconds, you close your eyes, and I kind of deepen it. But the idea is when you focus your attention, you become involved in this hypnotic state and not asleep. It's a heightened state of awareness. You hear things even louder than normal. That's the misconception about this. And it's a great form of meditation. And in the book, there's so many benefits for meditation. You learn to act and not react. You counteract the fight or flight response. It calms you down. It affects the amygdala in the brain, which reduces fear. If you think of loving kindness in this meditative state, it produces positive emotions. So many positive. Hypnosis is just a form of meditation. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, we have to take a little break. That's what I was going to say. But we'll be right back. Dr. William Matta is on the phone. He is the author of a book called The Solution, A Blueprint for Change and Happiness. That's really the bottom line right there. Yeah. Is if you want to change, because that change will make you happier, and we've all got an answer to that question, what change would make you happier? Then this book will help you find that and figure out a way to do that, I think. We'll find out if I'm right or not in a second. Plus, I'm anxious to hear the demonstrations that he's going to do.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that when we come back.
Okay, we will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, times of clouds and sunshine. There may be a shower along the coast, rather breezy at the coast too, the high 70 to 74. Partly cloudy tonight, more clouds and even a shower along the coast, lows ranging from the mid to upper 50s, while inland to the mid 60s along the coast. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness with a shower along the coast, quite breezy tomorrow, high 75 to 79. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Looking to put your money to work? Florida Credit Union has 3 CD specials, 12 months for 1.05% APY, 24 months for 1.50% APY, 36 months for 1.75% APY each with a $10,000 minimum. Federally insured by the NCUA. APY equals annual percentage yield. These rates effective through December 31st, subject to change at any time. Visit one of Florida Credit Union's convenient locations today or visit their website at flcu.org.
Hi, Santa's head elf here. We are cranking out the gifts this year, and we just noticed that Sears and WOCA The Source at the Paddock Mall are giving away 2 58-inch flat-screen TVs to 2 lucky winners. And all you need to do to get your name in for a chance to win is go to the WOCA Facebook page and like the post, so that's 2 less gifts we have to worry about. Well, get going to WOCA Facebook, like the post. You could win.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new...
Yep, we do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, 20 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. There's no way in a short interview that we'll get the information out about this book. There's a lot of good stuff in it. It's called The Solution, A Blueprint for Change and Happiness. It is written by our guest, Dr. William Matta, on the phone up in South Jersey. Is that what you said, Doctor?
Yes, sir.
South Jersey.
Atlantic City. That's a fun place.
Oh, near near Atlantic City. Sorry.
That's where people need your expertise the most.
No, that's
right?
where
Gambling.
this is. No. I wait. Can I tell you my thoughts on casinos with women? I got a thought. Maybe hypnosis can change. You ever see a man's face at a strip club? You don't have to answer that.
I'm not going to answer
It's
that.
the same. It's the same face a woman has at a casino. I'm telling you.
Well, you know what? That's a hypnotic state.
Yes, it is.
You're really in a hypnotic state. Every hour and a half we go to like a trance-like state also. But that is a hypnotic state. That's correct.
And yeah.
Good. I have a funny story to tell you, and then if you don't mind, and then I'll demonstrate to the audience who might be suggestible. A couple of years ago, I do a lot of work in the schools, and I was in this Catholic school, and I introduced myself to the freshman class. I do counseling there, and I just want to, I want to entertain them and get their attention. So I discussed hypnosis, and they put me in with this 95-year-old sister, a nun. And I think to myself, I'm not sure if this is going to work out or not. But so I give them the test, which I'm about to give your audience. Find out who's suggestible, bring them up. You hypnotize them quickly, and then in the state, I'll make post-hypnotic suggestions. Like the one student, I said, when I clap my hand, you'll become stuck to the chair. When I clap my hand, the other student, you'll be stuck to the floor. When I clap my hand, you won't remember your first name. And they actually do it, and people think they're faking. And so I do it the first class. The sister didn't say a word. I do it the second class, and she says, I think we should do, because I was meeting more than one class. She says, I think we should do something else. I said, that's fine, sister. We'll do that. If you don't mind, I'll demonstrate to your audience who might be suggestible. Now, if you're driving a car or operating a vehicle, don't do this.
Don't do this if you're driving. Okay.
A car or a vehicle. What I want you to do is just sit down in a chair, and I want you to put your hands straight out from you, palms up. This is just one test.
Okay, we're doing it.
Okay.
We're doing it.
Okay. I want you to picture this. You have a helium balloon and a string about 1.5 feet long around the wrist of the left hand. Think about a helium balloon.
Okay.
Right hand is a heavy yellow page phone book, if you know what that is anymore.
Oh, yeah. Big book. Heavy.
We're old.
Take a deep breath. Don't help me or hinder me. But I want you to think about the balloon starting to rise and tug at the wrist of the left hand. And the left hand is start to get lighter and lighter. Now focus on the right hand with the heavy book, pushing down on the right hand, going down, back to the left hand, going lighter, up. Right hand, heavier, down.
Right.
If you look at your hands, the people that the left hand goes up or starts moving and the right hand goes down, those are the people that are suggestible. And hypnosis can just do wonders for those people.
Damn.
Wow.
Did it work for you?
Well, the right hand went a little bit lower. I mean, I could feel it psychologically that I could pay attention to my right hand more. Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't concentrating enough.
Maybe.
You got to run the show. I can lay back.
and also, like as I put in the book, is that there is when you take a deliberate deep breath, it produces serotonin in the brain, which calms us down. So there's a lot of good things about meditation. Mindfulness in psychology is a big thing right now, where you're living more in the moment. If you live in the moment, you can't worry about anxiety from the past and fear in the future. So hypnosis and taking a breath, mindfulness, and part of it is behind every emotion there's a cognition. When people feel a certain thing, it's because they're thinking a certain way. So if we're feeling angry, we're thinking along angry lines. If we're feeling depressed, we're thinking around depressing thoughts. And our thoughts, this is a big part, our thoughts create our existence. Our thoughts create our future. You learn not to be a prisoner of your own thoughts.
Can you help people with dementia?
No, I don't. No, a lot of anxiety, panic attacks, depression, stress. Stress goes away when we're dead. It's how you deal with it. If you think it's a threat, think about it. If Suppose I can't find my keys in the morning. Oh my God, gee, all these horrible feelings. Well, you take a deep breath, calm down, and you make it to a challenge by saying they couldn't have left the house. And daily I change stress from a threat to a challenge.
Wow.
Does repetitiveness do something similar to hypnosis? For example, if I'm trying to lose weight and I intentionally every day do the exact same thing at the same time, because I know that formula will work, even though I'm forcing myself for the first week or two, eventually it becomes a habit. Do I have I somehow done some kind of hypnosis to myself?
If you're really focusing on doing it, yes. But I think what you talk about is that structure is helping you maintain that proper diet. Yeah, and they say it takes about 21 days to change a habit. That seems to be a pretty good rule of thumb. I'm sorry.
I do like your subtitle, A Blueprint for Change and Happiness, because so many people think that they can be happy if they have a change in their life, like couples, for example, and then they get divorced. Can you help them have happiness and get back into that mode the way they were all those years ago, or should they just cut the ties and then just have that change and find whatever else it is they're searching for?
I do a lot of marriage counseling, and then your question is difficult to answer. Marriage counseling for therapists can be very difficult because they tend to blame each other. The solution lies within each other. I don't know if I answered that question or not, but that gets a little more complicated.
But that makes sense because there's two people. I mean, with yourself, like if you know you are your own problem, like you're smoking, well, nobody makes you smoke. You smoke on your own. So you don't have a second person to work with or to blame.
Well, if somebody has like addiction, like alcoholism within the couple, that has to be addressed first.
That would make sense. Yeah.
That has to be. Then you can work on the relationship.
What about
marriage counseling has to do with how people organize a space between each other. There's always problems, always issues. It's how you go about trying to solve those problems.
What about forgiveness? Let's say the man has cheated and he comes back and he says, "I'm sorry." He confesses to it, but and so he's got to live with his guilt. But she's got to, in order to take him back, she's got to forgive him. Will hypnosis help her forgive?
I haven't done hypnosis for that. I have a chapter in the book about that, and I tell people this: forgiveness is a natural outgrowth of love. Everybody makes mistakes. Affairs are different. One person's having the affair. That's a person that stepped outside of the marriage. That's the culprit. And what always happens is the person that had the affair, and they might be really honest about it, say it's over. The other person isn't there. It's like a death, and so the person that had the affair needs to be on a short. You have to regain trust. Once trust is violated, it's very difficult to regain, and it takes a long time. I recommend not having an affair.
Yeah, that is good advice. Well, you're a very down to earth guy. I have a copy of the book. I would like to give it away. Call me if you want it. The number is 622-9622.
It's a great read.
And the rest of us have to go buy it. Call. Doctor, give us a website or give us information on how we can buy the book.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. It's an ebook on Smashwords. That's probably the best way. I just want to mention that there's a hypnotist in your area, a good friend of mine. We have a place together in Sarasota. I'll give you his name and number if somebody wants to see him.
Sure.
He's near Homosassa.
Oh, okay. That's not far away. What's his name?
Dan Hoffman, 352-601-3627.
Okay, I wrote it down. Dan Hoffman. Let me give the book away. Good morning. You've got the book. Who's this?
Thank you. It's Lauren.
Lauren, you've got it. It'll be waiting for you, okay?
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Doctor, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be with us, and have a great holiday season.
You too. Thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Had a good time.
That was good. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. Russian President Vladimir Putin calls it a stab in the back. Turkish pilots shooting down a Russian warplane.
It's the first time a NATO member country has shot down a Russian jet. Turkey says it fired on Moscow's aircraft after repeatedly warning Russia to stop flying in Ankara's airspace. The Kremlin denies its jet was in Turkey's airspace, maintaining it was in Syria throughout its flight.
Fox's Jessica Gallagher. There are conflicting reports about the two Russian pilots, whether one or both are dead, captured, or missing. The president of France visiting the White House.
Aside from a show of solidarity with France, not much is expected out of today's meeting between Presidents Obama and Hollande. The French would like the U.S. to coordinate counterattacks against ISIS with Russia, but President Obama is skeptical of such efforts.
Fox's John Decker. Fox News.